What is up, gang? So I wanted to jump on and just give you a little bit more information about what is a flex meal. So in the lean program, we incorporate one, maybe two flex meals at the most during our weekly cycle. And here's the deal. It's all about progress, not perfection. If you aim to eliminate all foods or large chunks of foods completely from your diet, typically we end up craving those foods and overeating them when that kind of binge occurs. So if I can teach you how to incorporate one or two flex meals a week, allowing you to enjoy some of your favorite treats, maybe some alcohol, something like that, and create that balance, then you're gonna be successful in the long run, because that's what it's all about. It's all about consistency. So when you're in the mode of weight loss, you do wanna keep your flex meals to once or twice a week. More than that, it's probably gonna create more of a maintenance mode, just because of the amount of inflammation that typically a flex meal is gonna create. Flex meals are probably gonna incorporate gluten, dairy, alcohol, sugar, processed foods, more so than our whole food nutrition diet is. And that's really what a flex meal is. So a flex meal, typically we do those on the weekends because that's when we're a little bit more social and out and about, is a meal that ideally we still want it to meet our macros. So it's typically done on a regular carb day. The goal is still to stay within our macro goals, but we allow gluten, we allow dairy, we allow sugar. Maybe you wanna have breakfast and you wanna do pancakes and donuts. Maybe you wanna have chips and salsa or margaritas, with your dinner, or maybe you're gonna go out on your birthday and you wanna have cake. Basically, you can choose whatever food you want. The goal is just to try to keep it within your macro goals, so those total goals. So that's traditionally what a flex meal is. Now, sometimes we go a little off the rails with our flex meal, and that's okay. My biggest suggestion is track everything. It's one thing to come out of a flex meal feeling like, oh my gosh, I blew it. I overate way too much. I did this, and this. And it's another thing to come out of flex meal and be like, oh, well, I didn't do that bad. And the only way to really know that is tracking. Because here's the thing. If you come out of a flex meal and you think you blew it, like you think you just, undid all the things all the good that you've done in one meal, you're wrong. And typically tracking will really help you see that. Well, yeah, I kind of went off the rails, but I was really only over by 50 carbs, or I really only had an extra 400 calories, which in the big scheme of things is not that bad. So if you really look at where your macros fell, then you'll be more likely and more ready to just get back on track, okay? I went over by 200 calories. Not a big deal, back at it today. Dial it in, keep it focused. Whereas if you don't track, you may have thought you went over by 2,000 calories, when in reality you probably didn't. So that's my biggest goal with regards to flex meals. Try to do it once or twice a week. Limit it to once or twice a week. Try not to do them back to back. So it's not ideal to do a flex meal Friday night and Saturday night, just because it ramps up the inflammation. So for the body to recover after that big inflammation spike takes longer when we have multiple days of higher inflammation. So try to space it out. Maybe if you're gonna do two, do Wednesday and Friday, or Thursday and Saturday. And then once you get into more of a maintenance mode, you can kind of play with your flex meals. You may find that you can do a flex meal 3 or 4 times a week, again, as long as it stays within your macros, and still maintain. And that's really what it's really all about, is creating that balance and flexibility. Progress, not perfection. You can't be perfect 100% of the time, so you've got to figure out how to manage those special meals, those days off. More importantly, you got to figure out how to get right back on track.